Today's love story is Unicorns and Other Magic by Faye Thompson. Do you believe there's magic all around us? Well, there is, but sometimes it takes the eyes of a stranger to find it for us. I found it by chance and I wasn't even looking. That's just how things happen sometimes, when you least expect them to. I was just strolling, trying to forget the disaster the week was slowly becoming, and then there it was. So, as you can imagine, I was delighted to see the unicorn. It was undoubtedly the only bright spot in an otherwise miserable week. I'd just spent £400 on a new boiler and central heating repairs. The brakes had gone on my car. I took it to be repaired and, surprise, surprise, I also needed a new clutch and 2 new tyres. If that wasn't enough, my boss was retiring, which meant I would be out of a job by the end of the month. And then, of course, there was Ken, who'd walked out on me exactly a year ago today. So, when I saw the unicorn at the flea market, I smiled. It would make a welcome addition to my collection. As I reached for it, I heard a man's voice say, "Aha!" and my hand collided with another large tanned hand that was reaching for my unicorn. "No, you don't," he said, gripping the base of the unicorn. "But I had my hand on it first," I said, not caring if I sounded childish. It was my unicorn, and this rude man wasn't getting it. I glared at him. He was tall and good-looking, with dark hair and brown eyes. Still, I had felt a weightlifting when I'd first seen it, and I wasn't going to let it slip, literally, from my fingers. "We're going to look pretty silly standing here like this all morning," he said. I could hear the thread of humour running through his voice. I shook my head stubbornly, then let go. I pursed my lips to still an urge to laugh. "What do you want with a unicorn anyway? Does it matter? I believe there should be a little magic around us in our lives. And unicorns? Well, if there isn't a little magic in a unicorn, then where is there? Don't you believe in unicorns? They're mythical creatures. Do you believe in fairies and leprechauns too?" I replied, still holding firmly to the fragile creature that briefly bound us. "You mean you don't?" he asked in a shocked whisper, his eyes dancing. "Well, that settles it. Only people who believe in the magic of unicorns should be charged with their keeping." I eyed him in exasperation. Magic. Maybe he could talk of magic, but I started doubting the existence of magic after Ken left me for another woman. There hadn't been any magic in my life for a long time now. Magic didn't exist any more than unicorns. "What are you?" I asked. "An expert on unicorns?" "No," he told me softly. "An expert on magic." I moved uneasily. One didn't talk of magic and unicorns with a complete stranger. One talked of the weather and that kind of bland, topicless chit-chat that whiles away so much of our time. It was unsettling, and I wasn't ready to be drawn in any deeper than I already was. No matter how soft the gaze of those brown eyes that held me unreasonably fixed to the spot. "This is a ridiculous conversation," I countered. "There are no unicorns and precious little magic in this world." This man was making an overture, reaching out, throwing a line to me, a thin, fragile line that might grow stronger if I caught it. I was tempted, but I wasn't ready to get hurt again. Getting involved, even slightly, with another good-looking charmer was out of the question, no matter what I felt. Felt? How could I? We had literally just met, and so far there had been only trouble of sorts. It was ridiculous, and had gone quite far enough already. "You can have the unicorn," I told him abruptly, and walked away. Part of me regretted my abrupt departure. The week that had begun so badly began to take an upturn. Even without my unicorn, instead of losing my job, I'd had a phone call offering me a better position under the new manager. Both my car and the heating had been fixed quickly and efficiently, so it was with an entirely lighter mood that when I saw him 2 weeks later at another flea market. Within moments, he walked over to me. "We didn't introduce ourselves the other day," he said. "My name's Mark Hopkins." "Judith Carson," I told him, pleased, against my better judgment, to see him again. "Look what I found." He held out a white ceramic unicorn with a flowing mane and delicate forelegs. "You can have her." My silly heart gave a little flutter at his thoughtfulness. "She?" I asked breathlessly. "Unicorns don't have a gender." "Of course they do. Otherwise they couldn't have babies, and the entire population of unicorns would die out," he said in a deadly serious tone. I laughed. You're impossible. But thank you, I'll treasure it. You still aren't convinced about the magic thing, are you? He asked. I shrugged. I haven't been able to believe in magic for a long time. He reached out and tucked a stray strand of hair behind my ear. I trembled as his finger touched my cheek, and I tried to conceal it with a laugh. The effect wasn't entirely convincing. I can prove there's still magic, he told me. If I can't show you 10 magic things in the next hour, I'll stop trying to let you become a grouchy, disillusioned old lady, okay? Well, he was nothing if not forthright. I eyed him warily. How? I asked. Gently, he took my hand. Can we count the unicorn as one magic thing? Oh, I suppose. But you'll never find 9 more magic things, not in a million years, much less in an hour. Your eyes betray you, you know, he said, smiling, as we ploughed our way through the crowd. He stopped before a clown in a red and white polka-dotted costume. What are clowns, he asked. Why, clowns are magic, what else, came the reply. There, Mark said triumphantly. Number 2. He pulled me along in his wake, stopping only when he saw a young mother with an infant in a stroller. Mark bent down, motioning me down beside him. Hold out your finger, he ordered. The baby gurgled and grasped my finger with heart-tugging pressure. Now, if that isn't magic, I don't know what is, Mark said softly. All right, I conceded, laughing. Number 3. He found an elderly, grey-haired couple sitting on a bench, their hands intertwined. Mark stopped and grinned. How long have you two been together? 57 years, the man answered promptly. Is the magic still there? Oh, absolutely, they both replied. Number 4, Mark asked me. His next stop was the pet shop. The lady wants to see the puppy with the fluffy face, he told the attendant. The puppy was placed in my arms, and as I got a face washing from the busy little tongue, my love of animals flooded over me. Oh, he's adorable. Number 5, Mark said. A young couple sat by the fountain, engrossed in each other. The boy kissed the back of her neck. She turned to him, her heart in her eyes. Number 6, I think, Mark said softly. You're cheating, I told him. Cheating? He asked, looking scandalized. First love is always magic. He pulled me out through the front door of the mall and pointed to the clouds which were moving lazily across the sky. What do you see? Just clouds, I answered untruthfully. I saw elephants and giraffes, poodles, dragons, eagles and gorillas. He snorted the truth. All right, I said, giving in. I see a poodle. No, wait, it's changing. It's a lion. Now it's a giraffe. Now tell me, he said softly, his eyes very dark. What would you call a poodle that can change into a lion and then into a giraffe within minutes, right before your eyes? Magic, I asked softly. Absolutely, that takes care of number 7. How about that for number 8, I asked without thinking, as I pointed to a double rainbow gracing the sky with delicate pastel colours. His eyes were on my face and not the rainbow. You're catching on, he told me, a husky note in his voice. You may get the hang of this yet. He cleared his throat. Now, he said briskly, the next bit of magic is in my backyard, if we can find him. Him? It wouldn't surprise me if this man had a leprechaun or a fairy living in his backyard. Him was a toad, a brown, lumpy, bulging-eyed, pock-marked toad. Now that's magic if ever I saw it, Mark declared. I snorted. That's not magic, that's nature. No, Mark said solemnly, shaking his head. Nature could never make anything that ugly. This simply has to be the result of magic. Suddenly, without quite realizing how, I was leaning against him, laughing, his arms about me in a warm embrace. And in that moment, my resentment against Ken, my refusal to take a chance on getting hurt again, my fear of reality, of living again, were gone. You're crazy, I told him. I know, he said into my hair. Isn't it great? I drew away reluctantly. That's only 9 magic things. Number 10 coming right up, he whispered, and bent his head. It was a light, tentative kiss, undemanding in its gentleness. A kiss between special friends, between 2 people who are beginning to mean a great deal to each other. A kiss to build on, because there's magic here, I thought hazily. Enough magic to last a lifetime.